Here we are, peeps. It's a Sunday once again. Here we are doing a little what we do, Mike. So what's happening with you out there in California, man?
Hey man, like we still got this cold, foggy weather out here, man. But otherwise, everything is okay, man. We still here. Blessed
Yeah.
with another day, man. So,
Yeah. I
that's
know
what
you got that damn tornado, tsunami, earthquake, and all that shit
yeah,
happening
man.
in
It
one
was
day.
crazy the other day, man. They had a
Yeah.
7.1 earthquake, a tsunami, all that.
Yeah.
I hit my son up because it was close to where he was working. He's like, man, I didn't feel nothing.
Oh.
He said, but they got this
Yeah.
crazy tsunami thing going. So
Yeah. People was leaving the city and got about an hour away, and they told them to come back home.
Right. And you know what? I got to add this. I just want to say to my Ram fans out there, you know how we did it today over Buffalo. I just had to put that out there real quick before we get into our topic today.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, our topic, we're going to have a two-part series. You know what? We have a two-part series, and it's going to be on personal training, becoming a personal trainer, and then how we became. Part 2 is going to be is how we became successful personal trainers,
Absolutely.
because Robert has that brand new gym back there. So we thought, we'd talk about, we'll get to that point where how he was able to be able to do all of that. But starting off, Robert, man, becoming a personal trainer. How did it all start?
Well, the personal training side of things came to me pretty much after I opened up my restaurants. I had 3 restaurants in San Diego that was catering to diabetics. And during that time, I was competing, and a lot of people will come into the restaurant, and when they order my foods, they want to know how to do different things. So I would actually go and, kind of give some advice at their gym, go hang out with them and talk to them, because really wasn't interested in the personal training side. I just wanted to make sure that my clients was happy with my foods, and also appreciate the fact that I was giving them some extra attention outside of it all. Well, during this time, I noticed that the questionnaires became so highly wanted, and I was giving the answers, and so I was just trying to find a way that I could really give 100% to what I was sharing with them as far as their health journey was concerned. So I decided that I was going to become a personal trainer. I already had the background for us how to train. I had my certifications in NASM already, just because it was part of my studies in school and my nutrition side of things, and also my rehab side of things. Like, oh, you know what? NASM has seemed to be the #1 thing that people's going for. So I just went ahead and did it while I was active in my study mind.
Exactly.
Back then. To remember shit.
Right. To retain at that point.
Yeah. And so I think that the certification side of things is just shows your seriousness behind it, and that you're legit when someone wants to know if you have taken any certification classes. But Mike, you know how it is, man. Unless you have actually put boots on the ground, certification is just a certification. You cannot take that paperwork and just go right into, I know how to be a trainer. I still think people should have the certs. And once you get certified, now you understand how to train. So you start with like your family members, or even training yourself and coming up with different programs, watching how your body respond. And then you're able to like take it to the next level. I think that certifications pretty much really only qualify you to work for a corporate office. You can work in any corporate gym, anywhere, because they want to make sure you got a certification. Mm-hmm. I've been in that situation where people have certifications, but when you tell them to take you through a workout program, they don't have a clue.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How you've seen the gamut. We both have seen it now, because you have background. You were bodybuilding. You have been training for years. You got sports background, and I know in school too, also, and you had your certs. But they have people now or in the past that have just done certifications. They have no background. And what do you think? Do you think that you can have a good trainer or a great trainer that just has the certification and not the experience? or what's your take on that? What do you think?
Well, I think experience assist. No, I think experience along with the certifications allow you to be more complete, right? If you got experience from just lifting, you know how to train yourself. But if you got a certification that kind of gives you different ideas, different methods, giving you the terminology, the things that you need to use to when you're actually sharing your knowledge with someone, you don't sound like you're just someone who's trying to figure it out on their own, in a sense. So I to answer your question in a whole, if I had someone who had experience and they've proven themselves, not through just themselves, but other people that they have trained, I'll take that person over a certification person. Absolutely. Now, would I take a certification person who has the same experience? I'll take that person because they got a little bit of both and they can share some things with me, right? I just think that when people come out of the certification world, because you can get them online, you can get them just as fast as you can go to the store and buy another T-shirt, that you have a tendency to think, oh, now I'm a personal trainer because I got a certification. Well, there's a lot more involved in being a personal trainer, because as a personal trainer, that means that this person is coming to you for knowledge, not for what you think, not for what you assume. They want your knowledge to make them better. Right. And so if it's something that you hadn't experienced, then it's kind of hard to actually keep that person on board, if that makes sense. I think totally. Yeah, right. So people who even don't understand training, you can tell if the trainer really knows what they're talking about. After a while, you kind of go.
And I think part of it too, and you correct me on this if I'm wrong, knowing people and being able to know a physique, know a person's body type, know what a person can do when you go over, their specs or whatever.
Sure.
That sets you apart. Because like you just said, some people, if I can have a certification and somebody can come in and say, hey, can you train me? And then you can give them all that book stuff. But if you don't know how to deal with that body type, because everybody's going to be different. You can't cookie cutter everybody, Correct. And that's what Correct. A lot of people have been doing, especially with the internet now and everything. It's all a lot of cookie cutter stuff. Got the online training, do this person's doing the same thing as this other person. It's not personal. And that's
absolutely
when you say trainer and you put personal in front of it, that means it's for me.
Right.
You know absolutely. What I'm saying? That's absolutely. How I look at it.
Yeah. And I would stay straddle the fence on that, meaning that there's only a certain amount of exercises that a person can actually show another person how to do, right? Now, there's a lot of different angles that you can put them in to make their body change. So when a personal trainer is creating a personal workout program for that client, now they have sit down with them and say, what is your ultimate goals? Is your goals to do your daily activity outside, or is your goals to change your physique, or is your goals just to be strong? So there's, 3 different types just right there. And we know that there's several others, but those 3 is the basic ones. And so when someone comes to you and say, I have a bad shoulder and I really don't know how I'm going to get movement back, and I need you to assist me. Now you're talking personal workout program for that person, because they're not going to do a basic press over their head. Exactly. They're not going to do a basic barbell raise. None of those things are not going to happen. So now you, as a certified trainer, if you haven't experienced in all of the different types of body injuries, body types, mindsets of people, then you can't really say you're creating something that is going to take you to the next level right now as a personal trainer. And that's why
effective for that person. Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's why I believe all people who get their first certs should always go to a corporate gym to train, because there's going to be less stress on you. These people are just coming into the gym left and right, and they're buying all these workout programs. You have these trainers who understand the basics, but as a trainer learning to understand the basics, we've all been there where you started from ground zero. So I understand you got to move forward, but it gives you an opportunity to work on all different types.
Oh, you see all different body types, all kind of people that haven't started, have never been lifted the weights, people that are overweight that you need to bring around slowly, just like you said, and I totally agree with that. And that's where when I started, I did it that same way. I went to a corporate gym, got in there, and then I learned, hey, I had a pretty good gamut in my mind on how to do things, but bringing in different type of people, different races, different body types, all that, man, different ages.
That's right.
All that goes into, you can't just go out there and say, I'm a personal trainer and then start training, because if you've never trained anybody but yourself, you're going to be stuck doing the same thing for them, what you do for yourself.
Yeah. And my experience is this with me being in a position to hire personal trainers with their certifications who have not even once been in another gym or hadn't even trained a person. My ultimate goal was always number one, to teach them how to deal with people. Your ability to adjust to each personality coming to the gym is like mandatory, because you're going to have someone come in who's quiet and introverted, who don't talk. You're going to have someone who talks all the time, and you're going to have someone who's going to try to tell you how to train them, even though they came to you first, right? And so learning to deal with people in general, I think that was the biggest turnover with personal trainers in general, is that they don't have that personal skills that they thought they had.
Right.
They don't know how to go and talk to a person about a membership. They don't know how to go and talk to a person about how I'm going to make you better. Right. And as we all know, the last words you want to ever say to someone is, I think, or maybe we can. Yeah. Those things don't keep a person around. Right. You need to know what you're saying and believe what you're saying, even if you don't know what you're saying, at least sound believable. Right. And that's how I believe that anyone who's out there listening right now, and you're trying to get in some private entity and you've never trained anyone, not only is going to be the person who hired you fault, but it's also going to do really bad things for the studio, the gym, or whatever you may be training at, because the last thing you want to do is say, I had a trainer that sucked, or a trainer that, just didn't know what they was doing, and they worked at Robert Johnson Training Studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't say the person's name. They say at Robert Johnson Training Studio. Right. And so it's real important that you guys out there who want to become trainers, you want to look at the big picture. And the big picture, I'm going to summarize it real quick for you, is that once you got your cert, work with your cert, meaning understand what you studied, not just for the test. The other thing is start with the first family member who wants to get in shape. Right. And you start talking about, let me train you. Let me take you to what I know.
That was my next thing I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
How do you go about all of a sudden going from getting your cert and then starting to train somebody?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So the best thing to do is find members that you can train with. Establish yourself a little bit for us, knowing that there's different types of exercises and not the ones you just learn in the booklet that they give us, but also that there's different angles and different types of machines and all of those things that you need to know about. So once you train a family member, you can make lots of mistakes, but you learn from those mistakes. The last thing you want to do is be hired on at a gym because you think it's going to be an easy spend for money, and it's just not. It's not. It's all about building relationships, number one for me. It's all about making sure you understand exactly what that person wants, and not to train a person like they've been in the gym. Train the person like they've never been in the gym, and you're telling them every step of the way of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then your knowledge will just kind of grow from there.
Yeah, I had a boss one time, and I was always getting frustrated at work, and that's basically what she said. She said, treat everybody as if they don't know.
That's right.
And if you treat them that way, because your expectations are always going to be here.
Yes.
Okay. So if your expectations are here, you're always going to be in that fail-safe mode, that fail mode, because you're going to be mad and you're going to be like, oh, they're not doing this. But
That's right.
But if you bring it to, like when we talk about training, if you train everybody as if they've never worked out before and that they don't know, you won't get frustrated as a person or with your standards or your level of standards, because you'll have some trainers that I've been around and I've seen that they expect you to be here and you've never worked out. You don't know. It's a lot of things that people don't know why. You'll get that why person too when we talk about the different type of personalities. Why am I doing this? Why do I have to do that? Why am I only doing 3 reps? Why is this lighter than that? You get that, and you got to be able to explain to them why I'm not doing Robert's workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Knowledge is a powerful thing. When you have knowledge and experience and you put them together and you're now standing in front of a group or even one single person, the nerves go away because you know what you're saying. And it comes across to the person that you're talking to totally trust and believe in you. So this personal training thing that people are out there just want to be a trainer. I want to be a trainer. I want to be a trainer. They have no why. They have no purpose. It's just this is how I can get a job, right? And it's unfortunate that it's that way. But I'm gonna share with you guys out there real quick. For those of you who want to become personal trainers, please understand this: is that when you go to the gym, you're gonna be working for minimum wage. It's a minimum wage job. So when you go to do this job, it has to be from passion and that you can see yourself at the next level, not just going, oh man, I'm standing around, I don't have a client. How much money I'm making? Oh, I can tell you, $8.50. Oh, I have a client. And how much money I'm going to make? Minimum 25, max 32, depending on your search, right?
And that's a percentage of what's coming from the gym.
Yeah. So, and now you're looking at, wow, this person just signed up for $1,800 and I'm making $32 a session that I see them. So your ego and all of that stuff, you got to be humility with dignity. You got to make sure that you know that there's a next step for you, and you just got to keep grinding until you get to that point to where you kind of go, okay, I now have enough knowledge. I understand the game. Now, how do I grow my base? And what I mean by base, all of the people who believe in you stay with you. Exactly. No matter what. They stay with you no matter what. And then now you understand the game. But just make sure that when you become a personal trainer, that it's more important than counting. It's more important than looking at your phone and while your one client is over on one side of the room and you're on the other side of the room and they're over here. I totally agree with group training. I agree with group training 100%. But group trainers, most of the time, the trainer is in the middle of those people, meaning that one's on this machine and you can see every movement that they're doing, because if there's an injury take place, you don't want to be in that. And so most corporate offices won't allow you to have a group training session anyways. Exactly. So you got to be one-on-one or maybe two, but that's about it. So the group training stuff is pretty much out of your realm right now anyways, because that is a very experienced trainer who's able to control something like that. And hopefully that they're focused enough that they see everybody, meaning that from left to right, head is on a swivel and they can see what's going on, making sure there's no one doing anything incorrectly or injuries. Now let's talk about injuries, Mike. Now, when you have a client who comes in with an injury, tell them some of the basic things that you will tell that client right from the start.
First of all, I want to see if he has anything from a doctor, because I want to see what kind of injury it was. If it's an injury that's restricting them from doing certain movements or restricting the movement of the joint, right? And I want to know. So what I'll do, I'll test them. I'll say just basically, say it's your shoulder. Okay, so can you raise your hands up above your head? Can you raise them from the side? And then once I get a feel for that, what I do is I go more into a rehab mode of training first to try to strengthen everything around that so we can start doing certain movements with that person because they may have a trophosized from the injury. So you want to build that up. And that's what I usually do. I'll go rehab mode first, where a lot of people go straight to this, getting them in there,
Right.
throwing up weights, throwing up bad form.
Hey, and you said the key word. You said the key word. That's the bottom line. That's all I wanted to hear you say. It was rehabbing training. So this is what we're telling you people out there. Mike was able to go from basic lifting weights to went right to something that was personalized for that client, right? You went right to rehab. So you can't just go in there and go, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's go 10 more. Let's go 5 more. Whatever the case may be, you can't go that route. No. You have to be more designed workouts for people who have injuries, design workouts for people who don't have injuries, design workout for people who never lifted a weight before in their life and they want to come see you for the first time, because your experience is going to lead them way down the road, or it's going to make them not want to do it anymore. So
exactly. Or you're going to hurt them. You know?
Yeah.
And you don't want that. And you don't want that, you know, that'll come back to Robert Johnson's training facility.
Yeah. So it's real important, guys. So being a trainer is just not that thing that we can all say, oh, I'm a personal trainer. I'd rather hear people say I'm a trainer.
Right.
I'm a trainer, not a personal trainer yet, but I'm working there. Then from that, you go into being a private trainer. Then you go from that, you can take into entrepreneurship. And then you can kind of move on from there. But it's a phase. It's not like just jumping straight into I'm working at a private gym. I'm now a private trainer. And people looking at you going, does that person really know what they're doing? Right? What the hell's going on? Right? No, you know, I don't want anybody, at least in my studio, who have not had at least a certain amount of clients, or they came in and they trained me. Right? They have to train me. Everybody who's been in here so far has taken me to 3 different training sessions of each body part, or me coming in with different scenarios before I even said, okay, cool. But, you know, it matters. That stuff matters. And so, you know, you just gotta realize that you're really stepping into some big old shoes when you say you want to be a trainer.
Exactly. And people just, you know, to touch back on that. People don't get that, you know, they don't get that. Like you said, somebody comes in. I've seen people that have been working out, and then all of a sudden they get an injury or have surgery, and the person that was training them, they don't want to bring them. It's stages that you have to bring that person back in order for them to get back to where they were. And I've seen people, I'm like, man, that ain't gonna be good. The next thing you know, man, I'll see the person back hurt again, and they're out. And it's like you said, now you have a person that has been working out consistently. Now, hey, they're like, hey, man, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, we, as a personal trainer, I don't want to ever turn anybody off from wanting to be fit and physically fit, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I always do the best I can and try to get as much knowledge as I can about that person prior to even really starting. I'll even bring them in and they'll say, hey, I want to start. Say, hey, well, let's sit down and talk, and then let me run you through some things first.
An assessment.
Yeah, an assessment.
A 30-minute assessment.
And then, you know, I go from there. But, you know, you get people that all they're doing is just paper counting. Okay, let me get 15 clients. So they just got 15 people on a piece of paper, and they have not assessed anybody, and they just start training them on the schedule. And
they're not making any changes. They're just coming into the gym, working out, and looking as though they're just members in the gym, because there's nothing personal about it. It's not, you know, it's just not there. So, but so that's one of those things that we're going to kind of come at you guys in our part 2 side of this whole personal training stuff, because I think everyone who gets into business and really get really good at it, Mike, that you should look at, how can I make this a business? You know what I mean? You can make it a business. You can actually make it your own personal business. You run it like a business, whether you're working at a studio or you're working, you know, where on your own studio, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
you can make it a business and you can make a living. But your biggest passion is can't be chasing money. You
Yeah,
can't be chasing the money. You
exactly,
got to be fucking chasing the health, the
exactly.
wellness of a client who's gonna actually bring you more money. Because if you chase it, it ain't gonna work.
And to touch on, and I love that because we're going, that'll be part two.
Yes.
You know, how we started, how
Yeah.
how our mindset was and everything.
Yeah.
But the thing that I want to hit on right before we go is when we talk about having that passion for doing it and
Yeah.
being a people person. If
Yeah.
you're not, if you're not those things right there, it's not
Nope.
for you, because
Not at
you're
all.
going to get burnt out and people are going to see you and they're going to say, dang, they're going to be watching you. People are always watching you, no
Yes.
matter where you are, what you're doing. So if you have that funky attitude because you're just counting reps and you count money because that's what it's about for you. One, you ain't gonna last for a long time, and three, hey, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out,
Right.
and your clients, and you're not gonna have a clientele because they're gonna all leave. So
Yeah.
when we talk about, it's gotta be, you have to love what you're doing, and you have to love helping people, and
Absolutely.
that's more of your reward. I'm saying is basically what I'm saying is your reward is when you see them progress. That's what keeps you going. That's what makes you and sets you apart from everybody else.
Absolutely. And Cindy, hello, Cindy.
Hello,
Your
Cindy.
question is, have any of you had a difficult client, or how did you handle the situation? Well, that's two types of difficulties. One is people who don't follow the meal plan or don't trust the plan or don't trust the process. The other one is someone who you just kind of go, you know what? I don't want to spend my time with you, because I've been on both sides of that. And I'm going to go to the short side first, is the ones that I just didn't want to spend my time with them anymore, meaning that they was difficult and just constantly negative, bringing in a negative world from outside and being just a zapper. And I'm a high energy person when I'm with my clients. And so if I find that this person is pulling my energy and we're discussing stuff that's just like, just negative stuff, then I have to tell them after their sessions, kind of go, you know what? We've ran our course. And I think that you know enough from me now, because I've given you everything for you to move forward. And I appreciate your time, and I hope I was able to help with your set goals. But the people who are having a hard time trusting the plan, or just question everything that you do, I like those people. They question you because they're interested. And if they don't ask me questions, then I feel as though they just, using me like a GPS system, which is a good thing. But I still want them to be able to go away from me and train and understand why they're training, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. And so that difficulty I like. I tell you what's a real fun difficulty. People always say, I hate cardio, but I want to lose weight. I'm like, okay, I don't know how you're going to lose weight without doing some type of cardio. Exactly, that's just part of it. And so I always try to not start so heavy with my clients. I go, give me 45 minutes a day. You can do it in the morning. You can do it at night. Just make sure it's steady state and it's consistent. It's not 15 now, 10 later, 20 later, and then they get the 45. So I try to have an open dialogue with all of my clients and my difficult ones, as we're talking about right now. And I probably enjoy them more than someone who's just completely on page, because I get a chance to teach. So that's how I deal with it.
And I totally agree with you. And that's basically what I did. But I had this one client. She was a co-worker. Hi, hey Maya, how you doing? And Maya, you know who this person is. She was a co-worker of mine. And she would work out, and she did the meal plan and everything, but man, she would suck my energy. She would come in, she was negative Nelly. I'm like every day. And she was one of my last clients of the day.
Right.
She would come in, man, every day, Rob, every day. Cindy, every day. So one day, man, finally, she just got so to the point where I'm like, why am I doing it? Why are we going over here? Why are we doing this again? But it was other stuff from the outside sucking in. So I said, look,
yeah,
I'm gonna give you one more shot, but if I can't go through this every day, I don't, mind. So the next day she came the same attitude. So I said, hey, look,
Yeah.
I can't do this no more. Gave her a check
Yeah.
and said, hey, you can train on your own or whatever. So by the time I got to work, she had been to work. She said, hey, I apologize, and I'm not going to even talk anymore. And you know what? She didn't. And you should have saw how she looked
Right.
and progressed. How much progress she made, more progress she made, because she came in now and she wasn't all about the negative stuff. She left all that out the door. And that was hurting her, the negative stuff. And her physique and everybody at work was like, now everybody like hit me up. Hey man, I need you to train me. They saw her and they saw what she was doing. They saw how her physique changed. And she knows who it is. I won't say her name, but I love you to death. She's one of my best friends. But man, I'll be like, look, we doing this all day long, but I'm still training her. You know what I'm saying? But it was just one of those people when you knew if you took a stance, because I know she really wanted to train.
Right.
And she thought I was going to take that stance.
Sure.
And when I took that stance and said, hey, here's your check, she just looked at me like, oh. And then by the time I got to work, because we worked the same unit and everything,
sure,
her whole attitude had changed because she wanted to do this, and her whole physique changed and everything. But that was the only time I had that kind of problem with a client. Most times they be like the know-it-alls and everything. I like them. I like like you said, people that be asking questions. Okay, we got you. Let's go.
Yeah, and it keeps the trainer on his toes too, because you want to have the answers, and you have a tendency, to keep those extra units of continuous education units going, and you move forward with it. But so people out there going to be personal trainers, hit us up. I know we talked about a lot of do's and don'ts, more don'ts than do's, but our next part 2 will be all about the do's. This is the things that let you know to make your decision whether or not you really got the cojones to be a personal trainer, and that you're willing to put up with all of the different personalities, and that when you go, you're going to start training with the family first. And then when you go apply for your job, just make sure you got at least 2 or 3 really good ways of training someone and not one way. Exactly. And then you can kind of go from there, and you look like you know what you're doing in the gym. But your time will come. Your patients will need to be there. Your clientele will build, and it will build on you helping people reach their goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just want to shout out Cindy and Amaya. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, just make sure you share it and like it. Yep.
You guys share, leave a comment, subscribe. We totally appreciate all that. And also, like we said, if you got any things that you want to speak on about this once we go off, just go and start making comments. We read those things after the fact anyways. And then we'll call you back. We may even bring you on. You'd be like a third person on the show, and we can talk about these things. But man, if you really fall in love with personal training, you found the best job. It is the only job that I've had where I say I don't work. I come here and hang out with my people.
I love it. Yeah.
I come here and hang out with my people every day, and I go home. I can my facility that I have here right now, I can run this bitch all by myself, and I'll still be able to put some cash in my pocket, and I'm okay with that. But I love my crew I got with me. And so we are both all a team, and we're all learning together, and we're gonna shock the world out of Sugar Land right here. I guarantee you. It's gonna be crazy.
I know it's happening. It's gonna definitely happen.
It's all working right now. We got walk-ins, we got people coming by, we got people signing up, and it's a blessing to have people change and feel them change and watch their face, how excited they get, and they come back in with like, oh my God, my friend told me I look like that. And I see, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Robert, give him a quick where you at real quick, and we can get on out of here.
Oh, I'm right here at Robert Johnson Training Studio. Of course, you can go robertjohnsontraining.com, or you can just drive right over here at 5726 New Territory Boulevard. 5726 New Territory Boulevard. I'm right here. I got a number. It's all there on my website, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways. It's 832-710-1725. 832-710-1725. Holla at a brother.
Yeah, you
Where you
can
at,
reach,
Mike?
you can reach me at Big Darkness 59 on Instagram or House of Darkness Fitness on Instagram. And I am accepting a few new clients. So hit me up. People been hitting me up. I've been getting them ready. We'll be starting probably after the holidays because that's when they want to start. Everybody want to, like, you know how everybody is, raw. Let me do this first. But that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So anyway, that's how you can reach us. We'll be back next week with part 2, giving you a little bit more flavor. But for all you people that want to be personal trainers or trainers, make sure you watch next week. Have a good one.
Peace out, peeps.
Deuces.